Chapter 1. Representation of geographical features. A quick glance. Globe, map and its essential features. Types of maps. Difference between a globe and map. Sketch, plan and diagram. During the ancient periods, people thought that the earth was flat and had edges. They were afraid to travel in the sea and far towards the edges. They feared that they would fall off the earth if they went too far. Later on, it was discovered that the earth is spherical in shape and no matter how far you go, you will never fall off. This discovery aroused the curiosity of the people. They wanted to know about the earth in detail. Since the earth is spherical in shape, we cannot see it as a whole. We can see only a part of it, even in photographs taken from the satellites in space. If we have to study about the earth, we must be able to see the whole earth, so small models of the earth were made in the form of globes, maps, sketches, and plans to help us study about the different regions of the earth. Globe. You must have seen a globe in your classroom or elsewhere in your school. The earth is spherical in shape and so is the shape of the globe. The globe is always slightly tilted and is mounted on an axis that allows it to rotate freely, just like the earth. It is the best representation of the earth on a smaller scale. The lines of longitude and latitude are clearly drawn on the globe that help us in locating the various places of the earth on the globe. The shapes and sizes of the continents, oceans, seas, South Pole and North Pole are correctly represented, but details of the landforms and towns cannot be shown accurately because of lack of space. In the past, the globe was bulky and difficult to carry, but now we can find globes in all sizes. They are light in weight and easy to carry. Some globes are small and inflatable. Now there are globes available that show various relief features of the earth, like mountains, plateaus and plains as well. We can feel them by our hands. Snippet, the earliest surviving globe, was made by Martin Behaim in 1492 CE. It was the year when Columbus discovered the New World. A globe is very useful if we want to study the earth as a whole or locate a particular area. But if we want to study only a part of the earth, such as a country, state, district, town, or a village, it is not that useful. In such a case, maps are very useful. Map. A map is the representation of the earth's surface. All the features of the earth or a part of them are drawn on a flat surface. A map is drawn to a scale. The details on these maps are represented in the form of symbols, words, lines and colors. A collection of maps is known as an atlas. It is in the form of a book and contains a number of different maps. In the ancient times, people used to draw or create maps with different techniques. Egyptians used to engrave maps on metal plates. People in the Pacific Islands used to make navigation maps by knotting reeds. During the ancient period, maps were based on the memory and tales of the distant travelers rather than on authentic information. In the modern times, map making has become an important science. Maps of today are very precise. If you want to travel to any place or region, you can locate it very easily on the maps. Ptolemy, an Egyptian geographer and map maker, developed map making into a science. In the map created by him, he represented the direction by drawing a north line at the top of the map. The science of map making is known as cartography. The person who makes a map is known as a cartographer. Maps are easy to handle or carry because they can be folded or rolled. They contain more information than a large globe. They show detailed physical, political, climatic, vegetation, soil, and agricultural details of even small areas. Since the curved surface of the Earth is represented on the flat surface of paper in a map, the problem of distortion arises. The maximum distortion can be seen around the poles. Essential features of a map. The map given below shows the various essential features of a map. In this chapter, we shall study about the 6 essential features of any map. These features include title, map scale, directions, grid lines, conventional symbols, map key or legend. Title. All the maps have the titles that indicate what the map is about. For example, a map titled Physical Map represents different natural or physical divisions of the world. Map scales. A map is the representation of the entire world or any particular part of it. To maintain the accuracy of the areas, their distances from each other, and their accurate placement, everything has to be represented on a particular scale to the original thing. Distance on any map is shown with the help of a scale. Scale is the proportion or ratio between the actual distance on the ground or the Earth's surface and the distance shown on the map. Suppose you want to show the distance between your school and your home on a map, which is of 10 kilometers. You have to show this 10 kilometers distance as 2 centimeters on a map. So you will be considering 1 centimeter on the map, showing 5 kilometers on the ground. Therefore, the scale of your drawing will be 1 centimeter equals 5 kilometers. If you know the scale of a map, you will be able to calculate the actual distance between any 2 places on the surface of the types of scales. Written verbal scales. Written scales use words to explain the relationship between the map and the actual real-world distance that it represents. For example, 1 centimeter represents 5 kilometers. On the map, it is shown as 1 centimeter equals 5 kilometers. Graphic scales. Graphic scales. Graphic scales consist of bars that look similar to rulers, with labels showing the distances. This type of scale makes use of segments. Fractional scales. Fractional scales are displayed as simple ratios to indicate the relationship between the distance on the map to its real distance on the ground. In this scale, the unit of measurement on both the sides of the ratio has to be the same. For example, 150,000. This tells us that 1 centimeter on the map represents 5 kilometers on Earth. According to scales, maps may broadly be classified as the following. Linear or graphic map. One side of the scale represents the distance on the map, while the other side represents the real distance between the objects on the Earth's surface. This scale helps in the direct measurement of the distance on the map. Small scale map. When larger areas are represented on a small map, it is said to be a small scale map. In a small scale map, very limited information can be provided. For example, the map of India is a small scale map. Large scale map. If a part of a city, town or village is represented on a map, it is known as large scale map. On a large scale map, information can be given in greater detail. Direction. The presence of directions is a very essential part of a map. If you see any map, near the top towards the right, an arrow with the letter N is provided. This arrow always points towards north. This is called the north line. If we know the north direction, then it becomes easy to locate the other directions, east, west, and south. There are 4 major directions: north, south, east, and west. These are called cardinal points. If one knows the major directions, it becomes easy to identify places situated in between major cardinal points. There are 4 intermediate directions as well. These are northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. These directions provide greater accuracy in locating any place. Grid lines. Grid lines are the horizontal and vertical lines that divide a map into a series of squares. These lines are typically labeled with numbers or letters, allowing for easy reference. Grid lines can be found on various types of maps, including topographical, geographical, and political maps. They help to locate specific points on the map. Map key or legend. Since different features like railway lines, bridges, settlements, mountains, lakes, rivers, forests, etc. cannot be shown in their actual form because of paucity of space, every map has a legend or key used in it. In order to understand the symbols of a map, we need an index. The map key or legend provides the meaning of each symbol, color, shape, and line. Symbols and colors. The maps that are created today are very precise. These are made with the help of satellite images and GPS. The ancient maps were made using simple instruments and mathematical equations. Ptolemy, a Greek mathematician and cartographer, came up with a set of equations that are still used in maps. Symbols are very essential components of any map. Various features like trees, buildings, roads, or railway lines in their actual shape and size are not possible to be depicted on a map. To overcome this difficulty, these features are shown with the help of different symbols. Besides these symbols, various colors are also used to show certain physical features of a place. For example, plains are shown in green color, plateaus in yellow, mountains in brown, ice-capped mountains in white, and all water bodies in blue color. The symbols that are used all over the world in various maps are called conventional symbols. One can very easily read a map using these symbols. Types of maps. Maps are broadly classified into different types based on their purpose and the content represented in each one. These maps are used for different purposes. Political maps. These maps clearly show the boundaries and areas of different countries and states. They also show the capitals of countries, major towns, and cities. These maps are also used for showing various cultural, historical, political, and commercial places. Physical maps. The maps which show physical features such as the continents and oceans, the mountains, plains, and plateaus, etc. of the earth are known as physical or relief maps. These maps can show great details through the usage of color variations and even three-dimensional views. These are very helpful in understanding an area of land with its natural features. We can identify lands for construction of dams, buildings, roads, and railways. Thematic maps. The maps that represent particular features only, such as types of weather, distribution of forests, industries, people, minerals, etc., are known as thematic maps. Thematic maps are further divided into three types. Climatic maps. These maps show the distribution of humidity and rainfall. Distribution maps. These maps show the distribution of crops, minerals, natural vegetation, population, etc. Survey maps. These maps show a small area with minute details such as roads, post offices, schools, parks, etc. Difference between a globe and a maps. Globe maps. A globe is a three-dimensional model of the Earth. A map is a two-dimensional representation of the Earth. Globes show very few details. Maps can show large amounts of details. Globes show the shapes and sizes of countries accurately. The shapes and sizes of countries get distorted in a maps. It is inconvenient to carry a globe. It is easy to carry a map. Sketch. A sketch is a rough drawing based mainly on memory and observations of a person. It is neither to scale nor accurate. Some important landmarks, buildings, streets, and places can roughly be drawn on it. Arrows can be drawn to show the way or path to be followed. Plan. The detailed drawing of a small area, a building, school, playground, etc., is called a plan. It is true to scale. A plan shows the minute details such as layouts of various rooms and spaces, their lengths and breadths. These details cannot be shown on a map. Maps, sketches, and plans are drawn on a sheet of paper to show the various objects and features on the ground, but their manner of drawing differs from one another. Let us understand the differences by the given table. Map, sketch, plan. Area covered. Covers a large area, can cover both large and small area as required. Covers only a small area. Scale generally drawn on a small scale. Since it is a rough drawing, no scale is used. Always drawn on a large scale. Details shown cannot show many details minutely. Shows only those details that are necessary. Show all the minute details accurately. Diagrams. We come across many different types of diagrams while studying geography. It is a symbolic representation of information using visualization techniques. The different types of diagrams we come across while studying geography are discussed below. Let us see how geographical features have been presented both with text and visuals. River. A river is a stream of water flowing from an elevated surface towards its drainage with defined banks. Mostly rivers originate from mountains or hills and flow until they merge with any other water body like sea or ocean. Some examples of rivers are Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, etc. Tributaries. A tributary is a freshwater stream that feeds into a larger stream or river. The point where tributary meets the main stream is called the confluence. They do not flow directly into the ocean. Meanders. When the river enters the plain, it twists and turns to form large bends known as meanders. This term is derived from the river meander of Asia Minor, which in its lower course runs through a twisting course. Delta and distributaries. In the lower course of a river, it mainly deposits sediments. In this course, a river becomes heavy due to the huge load of sediments it carries and forms a delta. The word deltas refers to the fan-shaped alluvial tract of land which is formed at the mouth of a river. The heaviest deposition of sediments occurs in the delta region. Due to the deposition of silt at the mouth of the river, water gets blocked. As a result, the level of the river rises and the water is unable to find its way. The water then runs from the main river and gets divided into several streams. These streams are known as distributaries. These distributaries give the delta a triangular shape. The soil of this region is extremely fertile. The Sundarban Delta formed by Ganga-Brahmaputra rivers is the largest delta of the world. Anticline and syncline fold mountains are characterized by rugged relief and pointed peaks. They are created where two or more of Earth's tectonic plates are pushed together. These pushing movements are primarily horizontal and cause wrinkles or folds. The sides which have been pushed towards each other form ridges and valleys. The ridges are upfolds and the valleys are downfolds. The upfolds are called anticlines and the downfolds are called synclines. The Himalayas, the Alps, the Rockies and the Andes are some of the examples of young fold mountains. whereas the Aravallis, the Appalachians, and the Great Dividing Range of Australia are old-fold mountains. Block mountains. These mountains are formed because of the vertical movements inside the earth. These vertical forces cause the large blocks of land to be pushed up with great force along a fault in the earth's crust. A fault is a crack in the crust. These mountains are formed when one block of land is pushed up and the land besides it sinks down. The blocks that rise above are called horse or block mountains. The part of land that sinks down is called graben. The tops of these mountains are flat. Black Forest in Germany, the Vosges in France, and the Sierra Nevada in California are some typical examples of block mountains. Glossary. Spherical, being round or more or less round in 3 dimensions. Landforms, natural land features on the solid surface of the earth. Engraved to cut designs or words on metal, stone, etc. Conventional, conforming or adhering to accepted standards. Topographical, representing the physical features of an area. Thematic, concerned with the theme or subject of something. Confluence, place where 2 or more rivers join together. Recap. Globe is the best representation of the earth on a smaller scale. Maps are easy to handle or carry because they can be folded or rolled. Title, map scale, directions, grid lines, conventional symbols, map key or legend are the 6 essential features of a map. The 4 cardinal points are north, south, east, and west. The 4 intermediate directions are northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. Grid lines are horizontal and vertical lines that divide a map into a series of squares. Diagrams are symbolic representation of information using visualization techniques.